Welcome to Evolutionary Healing. I'm Dr. Tanya Jones, and we have a wonderful program for you today. One of the reasons I went into medicine is because I saw how much the emotional health impacted the physical health, and I felt like I needed more tools. But once I got into medicine, I found that there's another layer of healing that has to take place when we are really under stress, particularly. So we have a guest today. Her name is Gress. And Robin is a therapist, but she also does what's called shamanic traveling and also healing. She'll tell you a little bit more about that. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you, Tanya, and thanks for having me.
I'm so happy. Tell our audience a little bit about what you do.
What I do, I am a licensed psychotherapist, and I also do shamanic healing. And I tell people that I come from the place I don't know anything. My only goal is to be a clear and open channel for divine healing. And shamanism is a very ancient art of spiritual healing that goes back approximately 40,000 years. Shamans call it being a hollow bone, so we allow spirit to come through our bodies. For me, I call it just being a clear and open channel.
Well, I'm really impressed with Robin because she's had a journey that many of us have gone through. She had a totally different career before. Tell them what that was and then how you came to be able to do what you do.
Well, I spent 16 years in California legislative politics in a variety of different positions, chief of staff to a minority leader in the legislature, and then 6 years working for U.S. Sprint, managing their government affairs operation for the Western United States, and then the last 5.5 years as a contract lobbyist representing big corporations. And my journey as I began to see spirits, and both with my eyes open and my eyes closed, and things from angels as well as the more unsavory types, the darker ones. And I sort of did what any person might do in that situation. I ran away, and I came to Santa Fe, which is the wrong place to come if you want to stop seeing spirits. And my journey began there.
Actually, Robin also has a sort of family tradition too. Tell them how that happened.
Well, I didn't really realize it, but when I was in Santa Fe, the spirits kept coming to me. I went back to school to get a master's degree in psychotherapy. And I would be in the classroom, and my aunt, who was deceased, came into the classroom and began speaking to her. And I could see her as clearly as I can see you today and see anyone, and we began communicating. And one day I was in the car driving to Albuquerque, and my grandmother, who had been deceased for many years, came into the car, and I could see her, and she told me that she had a gift and that my mother had a gift, and that it was time to pass on to me. And very unconsciously, I turned my hands over like this on the steering wheel, and I saw golden light pouring into my hands. And she said, "I'm passing on the gift to you from all the women in our lineage since the beginning of time." And I asked, "What is the gift?" And she said, "You'll find out."
Right, right. This is really important because so many people are having experiences that they don't share with anyone because they don't want to be thought of as crazy. Children have experiences and they're told, you know, forget it, you know, you're imagining it. But we're now moving into a time where all of us are becoming more intuitive. I call it the veil between dimensions is thinning. Some people are more gifted. For instance, you know, some people play basketball very well, but they can't play baseball. Well, everybody has their gifts, and Robin has a particularly useful gift during these times. How are you using your gifts with your clients?
Well, before I see anyone for the first time, I do a shamanic journey, and I work in an altered state of consciousness, and I ask Spirit, what do you want me to do for this client? And Spirit usually gives me 2 or 3 healing modalities to do for the client. Again, I just take my orders from Spirit. I come from the place I don't know anything. So those healing modalities might be a combination of hands-on work, soul retrieval, retrieving more power for the client. It might be extraction work, taking out unwanted energy from the client that's causing problems.
Mm-hmm. Soul retrieval is a term that's new to me. Can you explain what that is?
Soul retrieval is a shaman's response to deal with soul loss, and soul loss is part of our experience of being human. It's the body's natural self-defense mechanism to deal with shock, trauma, loss, or pain. So whenever we have any of those experiences, an essence of the soul will actually fracture and leave the body. The problem is once it leaves, it can't come back in. So if you were going to have a big ski accident, for example, or an auto accident, the last place the soul wants to be is at the point of impact. So part of it will splinter off and leave the body. And a shaman's response is to bring it back in. Shamanism is all about bringing back wholeness into the body. And I guess I'd like to say that I think soul retrieval is the missing element in our health and mental health system, because we have a lot of great doctors who work on the body, physical, alternative therapies, chiropractors, acupuncturists, and rolfers, and it's all wonderful. And we have psychiatrists, psychologists, and psychotherapists like myself who work on the mental and the emotional body, but who in our culture heals the fragmented and fractured soul? And that is what shamans have been doing for thousands of years.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for being with us on Evolutionary Healing. We look forward to seeing you at our next program. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.